Welcome to Tomorrow Unveiled. Today, we're kind of unstrapping ourselves from the everyday and strapping into the future, quite literally.
Yeah.
This past week, the world of wearable technology saw some, well, truly groundbreaking developments, things that are really redefining how we interact with our digital and physical worlds.
It's true. We're moving, far beyond simple fitness trackers and notification mirrors.
Yeah.
What our dedicated research team has compiled, it really shows a pivotal shift towards what we're calling strapped-in technology.
Strapped in. I like that.
Yeah, devices so deeply integrated with our biology, our neurology even, they're designed to anticipate our needs and offer intuitive, proactive assistance.
That's a powerful way to put it. Think of it maybe as your body becoming the next computing platform.
Hmm.
Our mission today on Tomorrow Unveiled is to cut through the noise, highlight the most significant advancements, the really game-changing stuff, and explain what these innovations truly mean for you as we head into a future where tech is becoming less visible, but, well, far more integral. So let's really unpack this idea, this strapped-in technology. For years, wearables felt like accessories, didn't they? Kind of tethered to our phones.
Right.
But the information our research team has gathered reveals a decisive shift. What's fundamentally changing the game here? What's different now?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, is the convergence. You've got several foundational technological pillars all hitting critical mass sort of at the same time.
Okay.
We're seeing rapid advancements in miniaturization, for one, and new biocompatible materials, which allow for incredibly comfortable, flexible devices. You barely know they're there.
Right. Less clunky.
Exactly. Then there's the explosion of AI-powered ambient intelligence,
Mhm.
especially large language models, LLMs, are acting as the brain, for these new ecosystems.
That's where the magic really happens, right? When these intelligent systems meet these cutting-edge interface technologies.
Precisely. That synergy comes from marrying these intelligent systems with the interfaces.
Mhm.
We're talking non-invasive neural sensors that translate thought into action. High-fidelity haptics adding a realistic sense of touch to the virtual. And unobtrusive displays that overlay digital info onto our reality without, demanding our full attention constantly.
So it's less distracting.
It's about creating a seamless personal ecosystem. The real value comes from these technologies working in perfect concert, humming along together.
Okay, so this week has been packed. Major announcements, strategic moves, really illustrating the shift. Let's start with what feels, I guess, the most futuristic neural interfaces.
Yeah, definitely. Our research team highlighted two significant developments on this front. First, the general availability of the Manujalink neural wristband.
Neuralink.
This device uses something called surface nerve conductance technology. It's essentially reading the subtle electrical signals your brain sends to your fingers, even before you actually move them.
Before you move them.
Yeah. Decoding intended movements like taps and pinches with really high precision.
Yeah.
It's positioned as a sort of universal input for this emerging XR landscape, extended reality.
Right, the blend of virtual and augmented worlds.
Exactly. And it's compatible across major operating systems, which is key.
So wait, you could control devices with just subtle finger movements, maybe hands at your side, without even looking. That's wild.
It absolutely is. And interestingly, it corroborates with leaked information about Meta's next big hardware initiative,
Ah, the leaks.
the Celeste AR glasses and the accompanying Ceres wristband. Now, this wristband uses surface electromyography. It's basically the same underlying tech as the Mudralink
Okay.
to enable intuitive gesture-based control. So this signals really an industry-wide consensus forming around the wrist as the optimal spot for this kind of neural interface input.
Interesting. So the wrist is the new hub, moving from input to intelligence. Google made a huge move this week, putting AI right on your wrist.
That's right. On July 9th, Google announced the global rollout of its Gemini AI assistant to the Wear OS platform. This replaces the old Google Assistant.
Right, the legacy one.
And this is a fundamental leap. It's shifting from, rigid commands, hey, Google, set a timer, to a fluid, conversational, context-aware, large language model.
So it understands more nuance.
Exactly. Our research shows it can perform complex multi-step tasks by accessing your personal data ecosystem, your calendar, emails, whatever you allow.
So no more pulling out your phone constantly to check your calendar or reply to an email. You could just ask, like, where's that coffee place Emily emailed me about?
Precisely. And Gemini would, in theory, parse your Gmail, find the location, and launch navigation, boom, right from your watch.
That's a huge productivity boost.
Now,
Just frictionless. And the new Samsung Galaxy Watch 8 series, that's one of the first to ship with Gemini built in, right?
okay.
Plus it has that new antioxidant index sensor, too.
Correct. Samsung's jumping right on it.
Yeah.
And, Apple's not sitting still either. Apple Intelligence is bringing on-device AI coaching to the Apple Watch, combining voice data with biometric analysis. So competition's fierce.
Definitely. Now, if wristbands and glasses are the near term, what about the distant, maybe even more revolutionary future, the stuff that's further out?
Well, that brings us to XPANCEO. Big news this week. This Dubai-based startup secured a landmark, a $250 million funding round.
Wow, $250 million.
Yeah, catapulting its valuation to like $1.35 billion. Their ambition is what they call the ultimate form factor,
Mhm.
an invisible, all-in-one smart contact lens.
Okay, stop right there. Contacts that do everything.
That's the vision. Our research indicates a device integrating XR visual overlays directly onto your retina.
Directly on the retina.
Real-time health monitoring through biosensors analyzing your tear fluid,
Mhm.
checking for biomarkers like glucose, intraocular pressure.
From tears.
Yeah, and even advanced visual enhancements like night vision, all powered by an embedded AI agent living sort of in the lens. It truly embodies that idea of technology just disappearing into the background.
That's almost hard to comprehend. Okay, so behind these incredible products, these visions, there's always the cutting edge science making it possible. What breakthroughs has our research team flagged this week on the foundational side?
Well, a really groundbreaking study came out from researchers at the University of California, San Diego. They unveiled a multi-modal wristband. And this represents I'd say, monumental step toward truly holistic health monitoring.
Okay, multimodal. What makes this one so special? Seems like there's a new health tracker every other week.
Right, but this one's different because it's the first to successfully integrate two fundamentally different sensing methods into one single flexible device.
How so?
It features a painless microneedle array. Sounds scary, but apparently it's not. For a continuous real-time measurement of key metabolic biomarkers, things like glucose, lactate, alcohol, right from your interstitial fluid.
Okay.
And simultaneously, integrated ultrasonic and ECG sensors measure deep tissue cardiovascular signals. We're talking blood pressure, arterial stiffness, heart rate. It's getting a much deeper picture.
So it's not just telling you, say, your blood sugar is high, but potentially correlating it with other physiological changes, maybe your activity level in real time. That sounds much more powerful.
Exactly. It provides this rich contextualized view of your health.
Huh.
Really essential for managing complex chronic conditions like diabetes, for example. It's a quiet revolution in health monitoring, potentially.
Okay, beyond just monitoring, our research team also uncovered some fascinating advances in how we'll actually feel the digital world. Haptics, right?
Yes, exactly. Nokia, working with the haptics leader WART, showcased research into conductivity-based thermal haptics.
Thermal haptics, so heat.
Yeah, most haptic systems now just give you simple vibrations, buzzes. This breakthrough lets them simulate dynamic heat transfer, so you can feel the difference between holding, say, a virtual block of metal versus wood versus glass, based on how quickly it seems to heat up or cool down in your hand.
Wow. That truly blurs the line between virtual and real, doesn't it? Imagine gaming or training simulations with that.
It really does. And look, none of this would be possible without significant advances in processing the sheer volume of data these devices generate.
Right, the data fire hose.
Our research shows a major concerted effort in applying deep learning specifically to biomedical signal processing. That's what allows devices like those neural wristbands to distinguish your deliberate actions from just random noise or twitches.
Makes sense. And with all this incredibly sensitive data, especially health data, how do we even begin to protect it? I've heard the term federated learning thrown around. Is that part of the answer?
Yeah, that raises a critical question. How do we handle this incredibly sensitive information? Federated learning is a really crucial privacy-preserving technique here.
How does it work, basically?
Well, the AI models learn from the data directly on your individual device, but the raw data itself, your personal health readings, your neural signals, it never leaves your control. It doesn't go to a central server. Only the learning updates, the sort of generalized insights from the model, are sent back centrally to improve the overall system. This is absolutely critical for health apps dealing with personal info, things covered by regulations like HIPAA in the US. It's like the engine room ensuring privacy while still enabling intelligence.
That's a relief to hear, that privacy is being baked in, hopefully. So pulling this all together, what does it mean for us? Where are these strapped-in technologies actually going to show up in our everyday lives?
Well, the applications are incredibly diverse. They push wearables far beyond just fitness tracking. In healthcare, think proactive chronic disease management, real-time diagnostics.
Like the UCSD wristband.
Exactly, and revolutionizing assistive tech for people with motor impairments, translating neural intent directly into controlling a wheelchair or a prosthetic. It's about active intervention, enabling new capabilities.
So more than just monitoring. Okay, what about our work lives? I'm already picturing ways to cut down on constantly checking my phone.
Absolutely. In the professional space, AI assistants like Google Gemini on your wrist could fundamentally change productivity. They reduce that context switching, jumping between apps and tasks.
Which kills focus.
Right. It lets you manage tasks, retrieve info with natural voice commands, allowing for more focused, heads-up work. And imagine combining neural wristbands with AR displays. A surgeon could review vitals during an operation without looking away, or an engineer consults schematics hands-free.
Yeah, that hands-free aspect is huge. And for entertainment, immersive experiences, gaming always jumps on new tech.
Yeah, for sure. The integration of AR displays and that intuitive gesture control like the leak suggested for Meta's Celeste glasses enables a whole new class of immersive gaming. And advanced haptics like that thermal feedback we talked about.
Shielding the heat.
Yeah, it adds such a critical sensory layer. It makes virtual environments dramatically more believable, more engaging.
It really sounds like there are maybe two distinct paths emerging for wearables here, almost like two different philosophies for how they integrate into our lives.
That's a key insight from our analysis, actually. We're calling the tale of two wearables.
Okay.
In the consumer market, the big trend seems to be towards invisible integration, devices that just disappear into the background. Success there is measured by comfort, seamlessness, looking good, or not being seen at all.
Right, like the contact lens idea.
Exactly. But in contrast, the enterprise and industrial market, that's defined by explicit augmentation. The wearable is an overt tool designed to visibly enhance a worker's capabilities. Success there is measured by hard ROI, functional power, durability.
So invisible versus tool.
Precisely. Two fundamentally divergent philosophies, really. It's setting up distinct battlegrounds for market dominance.
Fascinating. Okay, as exciting as all this sounds, there've got to be some significant hurdles, right? Challenges to mass adoption. What are the biggest ones our research team has identified?
Oh, definitely. And the primary barrier, interestingly, to this strapped-in future might not even be technological feasibility anymore. It's trust. And that's a multi-layered concept.
Yeah.
It starts with basic usability and ergonomics. Devices have to be comfortable. The battery needs to last. They can't be too bulky or conspicuous, especially for that consumer track.
Yeah, the basics.
And then there's a cognitive load, learning new ways to interact, avoiding constant notification overload.
Oh,
We already struggle with that.
tell me about it. And then there's the elephant in the room, data privacy and security. These devices are collecting unbelievably sensitive personal data, some of it directly from our bodies, our nerves.
This is the crucial point, really. The inclusion of always-on cameras in AR glasses, that resurrects all those old privacy concerns about recording people without consent. We've been there before.
Right. Google Glass flashbacks.
But maybe more profoundly, these neural interfaces, they access data that's a direct proxy for your motor intent. That's a step closer to your brain than any previous consumer tech has ever been.
Yeah.
And that data could potentially be targeted by malicious actors for what you might call cognitive hacking, or just used in ways we haven't even conceived of yet. Protecting that neural data stream is paramount. A breach there could compromise a user's very sense of agency, their control.
That is a truly chilling thought. Cognitive hacking. Wow.
And then you have the clinical-grade health data from devices like that UC San Diego wristband. This is among the most private information anyone has. It makes these platforms incredibly high-value targets for cyber attacks. Robust encryption, compliance with strict health data regulations like FICO, they're absolutely non-negotiable.
Yeah, you can't afford mistakes there. And on a broader societal level, are our laws, our social norms, keeping pace with all this rapid technological advancement?
Well, unfortunately, the short answer is no. Technology is advancing far, far faster than regulation. Current privacy laws just weren't designed for continuous biometric monitoring or for handling neural data.
They couldn't have imagined it.
Exactly. there's a critical lack of specific standards for how this deeply personal data can be collected, stored, analyzed, maybe even monetized. And the fundamental question of who truly owns the data generated by your own body, that remains a huge unresolved issue that we as a society really need to grapple with.
These are massive questions, ones we'll definitely have to confront as these technologies become more commonplace. Okay, so as we look to the future, wrapping things up, what's the big picture for wearables based on this incredible week of developments?
Our analysis points to four dominant macro trends really taking shape. First, the rise of the neural interface, solidifying that wrist-based ENG, like Mudra and Meta are using, as the de facto standard for intuitive input.
Okay, wrist is king for input.
Second, ambient AI, like Gemini, becoming the sort of background operating system for future wearables, managing information, executing tasks proactively for you.
The smart assistant gets smarter.
Third, multi-modal sensing, like the UCSD device, leading towards holistic, maybe even clinical-grade insights into our health, available continuously.
Deeper health understanding.
And finally, we're seeing the slow disappearance of the screen, moving towards unobtrusive heads-up displays, AR glasses, and ultimately, maybe those invisible interfaces, like contact lenses.
Less staring at glowing rectangles.
Hopefully.
It sounds like the future really isn't about one single killer device, but more like a powerful, interconnected ecosystem of these things working together.
Absolutely. The launches, the leaks, the research from just this past week, they really feel like the architectural blueprints for the next computing paradigm. We're seeing all the key components, the input, the display, the intelligence, the sensor platform, all taking a major concurrent leap forward. It's happening now.
The path ahead seems clear in direction, but definitely complex in execution. The central challenge for the industry, it seems, isn't just pure invention anymore, but that elegant integration and, crucially, earning your trust as a user.
Indeed. The companies that really succeed, they'll be the ones who can weave these disparate technologies into a cohesive, reliable, genuinely valuable user experience. And, at the same time, navigate these profound ethical and privacy challenges that come with this new level of human-computer integration. It's a tall order.
The race is definitely on. And the stakes, well, they feel like nothing less than defining the interface to our future lives. If you're finding this insightful, and we hope you are, please take a moment to like this video if you're on YouTube, subscribe to Tomorrow Unveiled, and maybe hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the future.
And if you're listening on a podcast service, perhaps Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could leave us a rating and review for Tomorrow Unveiled. It genuinely helps us reach new listeners curious about these topics.
We absolutely love hearing your thoughts. So whether you're on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, leave a comment and let us know what you think about This Week in Wearables. What stood out most to you from all this strapped-in tech?
Thank you for joining us on Tomorrow Unveiled.
We'll see you next time as we continue to unveil the future, one compelling topic at a time.